All right, welcome back. We are with Carl Kalange from the Sports Hit List Group. And Carl, I haven't informed you yet, but we have some breaking news right now. Luka Doncic, have you heard this yet?
No.
I know you haven't heard this yet. It just got released. I was surprising you. Kevin Harlan, I think from TNT, released that Luka Doncic has been ill all night. That he's been sick all night. He's been awake all night. And from his quote, I hear he's sick today. I guess he was up most of the night and ill. I've heard it from two. I've heard it now from two different people. So I'm assuming it's probably true. So Luka Doncic could be having a Jordan-esque flu game for
Oh
game
my
two. A
God.
very
We're
important.
not gonna do this. We're not
The
gonna do
stakes aren't
that,
that
bro.
high, but it's the first thing I
Listen,
thought of.
no, listen, we can't do that. You know what's so funny about NBA fans, and we all do this, right? I like to call when one of my good friends made he heard this quote somebody say called Chatty Patty, right? The less games we have, it's Chatty Patty season. Nothing that like so now we're fishing to come up with narratives to talk about because there's not enough stuff to talk about. So now it's going to be Luka has a heroic Willis Reed moment or a Jordan flu like
Well,
symptoms.
you didn't see PJ Tucker already took the Willis Reed moment. He came back game one. You didn't see that?
Listen, man, listen. We're funny. It's funny. No, honestly. But first, thank you always for having me on your show. It's really a blessing. I think we're having this thing every Friday morning. We come in and do the pod. But talking about Luka, Luka's great, and I didn't expect. Nobody expected them to defeat the Suns the way they did in that thrilling fashion. It was an embarrassment as not only for the Suns but for fans. Like we expect a game 7, everything on the line, and we get that shit. I don't know if I can curse on your pod, but that right, it
was
left me
very
speechless.
Unclimatic. Most definitely.
Yes.
Most unclimatic.
And there's nothing. And when people ask me my opinion, like Carl, what do you think? I'm like, the players spoke for themselves. There's nothing for me to say. Like it was. There's what else can I add? We all saw it. It was terrible. There's nothing I can say that's going to change. That's going to make you change your opinion about that game. Is a game 7 game on the line to advance. It just goes to show you. I think we might have. Some people asked, did we underestimate Luka and the Mavs? I think we overrated the Suns. And I think last year we all talked about how it was an injury season. Kawhi got hurt. Anthony Davis was hurt. So there was a lot of factors as to why the Suns got to where they got to. I try not to use that as an excuse, but those are the facts. Now looking at them in terms of regular season, they didn't get there. And the other thing is Chris Paul is not really when it comes to closeout situations, he's not the best. But now the Mavs are facing the.
I never wanted to cross that bridge. I've been Chris Paul's biggest defender my entire life.
But you can't after you can't after Sunday. You cannot do that now.
Yeah,
it's hard.
No, you're right. He's officially in that group. I mean, he's always going to be in that group of the greatest legends to never win a ring. But now, when you really examine those players, they've all got those moments, and Chris Paul has got a lot of those moments, a lot of 2-0 blown series leads. I mean, you can say we were underrating the Suns, but they were, without it, they had the best win differential in the last 20 years. They won more games.
Yeah, than any other they had a great regular season. 8. They did. But you know what? Regular season.
That's not underrated. That's a fact.
It is, but those regular season win. But I think what we mean by underrating is automatically when a team wins 60 wins, we're like they're going to the championship or they're a championship contender team. They got knocked out in the second round. So those are the facts too. Like at the end of the day, Luka. Just because right, and we even saw LeBron's early on Cavs. They won 60 plus games and they got knocked out the second round. It just goes to show that just because you win 60 games, I remember I think the Hawks
won 60 in the East though. That was a very weak East that time.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. That I don't.
Versus Warriors.
Listen, at the end of the day, when we see 60-win team, we think we scream automatic championship. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, no one's going to deny that was definitely. If it was either championship or bust, even finals or bust, and I don't even know what to call this. This is tragic. All right, now we're going to talk about your Celtics, your beloved Celtics. Game 1, they were tired. They came in, blew the third quarter. They won every other quarter. Then they were tired, a few costly turnovers. Then game 2, it was more of the same thing. Okay, they were rested. The supporting cast came out to play. You could see Miami Heat's supporting cast, bit of inexperience showed. What do you think?
Listen, I thought the first game, I got my hopes up. I didn't watch it live. I recorded it because had a prior engagement, and when I got home, I got my hopes up thinking the first half we got it, and then the second half, I didn't know what the hell happened. I was just like, but going into this game, I knew they couldn't do it. And the other part of it is that people, I try not to use the excuse. I always say next man up mentality, but people say you can't do that in sports. When you're missing your key players, you're not going to win. Marcus Smart and Al Horford didn't play in game one. Marcus Smart and Al Horford played in game two, and you clearly saw it. And I said this literally yesterday. It was about an hour before tip-off because I was doing another podcast. Shout out to the B Show on the Sports Hit List. And they asked me, what is it going to take for the Celtics to win game two? And I said, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're great. They're going to do what they need to do. We need another player to step up, whether it's going to be Al Horford, whether it's going to be Grant Williams, whether it's going to be Marcus Smart. You're right. But who stepped up? It was Marcus Smart. So there's that other player. It's always going to be Jason and Jaylen. Those are guaranteed that they're going to get their shots. They're going to get theirs. We need at least one. I'm asking for one of the other players, whether it's Robert Williams, Peyton Pritchard. Somebody has to have a 20-plus game. Who was it?
I mean, we've spoken about how valuable Al Horford is. I think Al Horford's defense,
the most important player
in front of guards, the way he allows the Celtics to switch on ball, I think it's amazing.
Al Horford is the most important player, and people say, "Well, I thought it'd be Jason Tatum." Again, there's a difference between valuable and important. Valuable to me, Jason Tatum is. We know Jason's value. Al is important, and I'm telling you, Al does the little things. He's the locker room leader.
Important player on the Celtics. I love Al Horford.
I'm telling you, man.
How do you differentiate most valuable and most important? Because you just expect Tatum to show up, but Horford's the X factor.
Always, yes. We know Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was our superstar. We know who he is. He's always there. He will be that guy. It's the same thing when you look at the 08 Celtics, right? Pierce was our MVP. Most important was Kevin Garnett. KG. You see? So you understand. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not saying Al Horford is a KG, but the little things that people who don't watch Celtic games and don't understand what Al does in terms of Al can stretch the floor. He can shoot the three. He can post up. He can rebound. He's great on defensive switches. He goes in the locker room.
Excellent passer. Excellent playmaker.
Great passer.
So underrated as a playmaker.
That's what I'm telling you. And people don't see that because you know what?
Every single time.
And you know what? People look at the box score and say, "Oh, well, he only had 13 and 6," and don't realize his impact on the game. Al makes a big difference to me. I'm sorry, and you can kill me for saying it, but I believe again, Al is the most important player on the Celtics team.
Hey, man, I'm with you. I wouldn't say most important. I mean, it's a bit weird to define that. Anyway, look, we know who Jason Tatum is. We obviously know who Al Horford is. I think the player who's maybe the least consistent in that, Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler is he walks a walk. He might talk a talk, and he'll have these games where he's dropping 40 bombs. And the next game 2 wasn't bad, but it's like
I think he still had 30. I think he still had 30, right? He had 29 or
28, I think, something like that. That's not taking that away. I'm talking about like the Celtics. They just went through Giannis, right? Where you pencil in 35 and 15 rebounds every single game. I don't think Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's going to have some great games. I don't think he's going to have as much dominance over, I don't think every single game we're just going to say, oh, Jimmy Butler was unstoppable in a quarter. Or Jimmy Butler was just a man on a mission. Yeah. We couldn't defend him like a Giannis. And I think that's going to be the X factor. I mean, this is a superstar-driven league, and I love Jimmy Butler. It's not an insult to say that he's not one of the top guys in the league, but I think that, I don't know how great he is to lead this team against a Jason Tatum-led Celtics team. I know it's a very simple take, but Jason Tatum-led simple team, who is a man, 24 years old, entering his prime, All-NBA, MVP candidacy. Jimmy Butler I think we've given Jimmy Butler the shadow of the doubt that when it comes to the playoff time, we know he's going to step up. I don't think we can judge his season based off his regular season. We can judge his performance of his regular season, but I just think that's going to be the X factor. I think Jimmy Butler's going to try and take over games, and the truth is, talent-wise, it's not always going to work out.
The one thing I'll say about Jimmy Butler, that's been the constant debate, and I think the media plays a big part in that, in drawing up, is Jimmy Butler a superstar? Is he not? And you look at the categories to be a superstar, and I said this on the late night show, is our fans, part of being a superstar talent, there's really only, like you'd say, 5 superstars, right? Because the difference between a star and a superstar. A lot of people debate that Jimmy Butler's a superstar. My defining factor is, when you pay an NBA ticket to go to a game, are you paying to go see Jimmy Butler? Yes or no?
I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't define that as a top 5 player though. That could be a star.
No, but what I'm saying though, but
yes, of course.
you're paying to go.
I also think his intensity lifts his teammates as well, which is another.
What I'm saying though is when you're looking at the top 5 players, you're gonna pay to go see LeBron.
Of course,
you're gonna pay to go see Steph.
15
you're gonna go pay to say Giannis. You're gonna go pay to see Kevin Durant. You're gonna go to say you could probably put, there's other players you can put in there, but that's what I'm saying. That's a superstar. A part of being a superstar is he's your ticket sale guy. Is Jimmy Butler a ticket sale guy? Like I went to a Miami Heat game. I took my wife. She's a big fan, as you know, if you've seen our videos, right?
Yep.
So we were going on a spring break vacation, and I said, you know what? The first thing I did was look at the calendar and say, who's coming to town? I didn't want to go see the game for Jimmy Butler. I know my wife wanted to go there to see a game in Miami, but I looked at and guess who was on the slate? It was the Warriors, right? And I said, oh my God, I got to go see Steph. Am I going to travel to another city to go see Jimmy Butler play? Chances are, no, I'm not. Okay. That's what I'm saying. But to me, then that's what separates the stars from the superstar. A superstar is box office player that's on the marquee, that player that people who are fans of, that are not only fans of the team, but they're fans of that player. I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler is there yet. Are Jimmy Butler's jersey sales top 10 in the league? You see what I'm saying? So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. You see, but for me,
I
that's
don't know.
Right, but you see, that's the definite. I'm not taking anything away from his game. I'm saying,
no.
How are you transcending with the fans? That's a big part of it. Nothing to take away from his game. Like he's playing like a superstar.
There's the Tim Duncan exception, obviously. I don't think popularity defines a superstar, but
it plays part of it though. It plays a part of it.
It does play a part of it, but like with Tim Duncan, he maybe wasn't the most popular player, and you could see with those finals when he was playing at his peak, they weren't very. They according to the 2000s era. They weren't the most watched finals, but
no, you're right. That's fair.
With Tim Duncan, right. There wasn't.
I think Tim Duncan's
short list of guys that I was more afraid of than Tim Duncan.
No, but I think Tim Duncan, because he was quiet, he may be the exception to the rule. There's always one that sneaks away. But what I'm saying is that again, I think what Jimmy needs to get him over the hump would probably be that championship. He's been to a finals, that's fine. But then people say that finals was the bubbles when it doesn't count.
Okay, well, yes or no, real quick, yes or no, we're gonna end it here. Can Jimmy Butler be the best player on a championship team?
Yes, he can.
Yes,
I think he can. I believe he can. He can.
All right. Well, talk about it in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Thanks for coming on, Carl. Have a good one.
Appreciate you, man. I'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.